Hey guys, Taylor here. Oh my gosh, the 2010s are literally on their last breath. That's absolutely crazy, isn't it? A whole decade has gone by just like that. So I figured I'd talk about my favorite things that happened each year, whether it be personal or anything that happened. So this is Taylor the Wolf's Decade Wrap-Up. Without further ado, here we go! So 2010 for me marked 10 years of existence. That's right, I hit double digits that year. I don't remember much of that year because it was that long ago, but I do know that I had pretty much just gotten out of elementary school. Oh yeah, and the first iPad came out and Lady Gaga wore a meat dress to the VMAs. Oh boy, so I believe 2011 was when I started my Justin Bieber phase. Either that or the year before, I don't quite remember. I had posters all over my wall, and I uploaded my first ever video to YouTube. Yes, the I'm a Star video.
Hey, here's my response for that I'm a Star thing from the annoying part. Ready? I'm a star! A great big shining star! Yay!
I remember watching a lot of Fred and the Annoying Orange back when they were still relevant.
Hey! Knock knock!
Who's there?
Knock knock!
Who's there?
Knock knock!
Who's there?
Knock knock!
Who is there?
Knock knock!
Who's there?
Knock knock!
I'm gonna squeeze you to death if you don't tell me who's there!
Knock knock!
Who's there? Who is there? Just tell me! Guys!
Orange!
Orange who?
Orange, you glad I didn't say knock knock again?
Good one, I get it! That's a little weird.
What a weirdo.
This was also the first year that I went to sleepaway camp. Ah yes, Camp Hazen YMCA. I highly recommend that camp if you're looking for a sleepaway camp. Also, remember Friday by Rebecca Black? Oh my god. And that Nyan Cat meme that I was obsessed with. Ah yes, 2012. That was definitely an interesting year for me. I was super obsessed with Avatar: The Last Airbender. And I discovered the furry fandom! Okay, so back then, I didn't quite understand the concept of the fandom, but I made a Fur Affinity account and I sort of got the idea that the fandom involved art. So I started drawing and uploading my art to the site, but my account got banned due to me being underage. And I also constructed my first fursuit. I think I'll save the whole furry story for a future video. And oh my god, remember Gangnam Style and Furby came back as well. Oh god, 2013 was a very awkward year for me, indeed. Middle school. I still didn't quite understand how to behave online, and I was very cringy. I started using DeviantArt to upload my artwork, and pretty much it was all crappy MS Paint drawings and other stupid things. I also had this whole obsession with Furbies, and that's when my brony phase began. I also started my Minecraft phase back then as well. And hey, the first ever incarnation of Taylor the Wolf emerged as a small pixelated MS Paint drawing. I think this was the year that my Justin Bieber phase finally came to an end. Good riddance! And remember the Harlem Shake? Oh my god. I brought my fursuit to school one day so we could make a Harlem Shake video. Also, what does the fox say? the cup song as well. I still remember how to do it, actually. "2014 was when my Pokemon obsession from childhood decided to return. Except, I only liked the original one this time. I would always annoy people with my Jigglypuff impression. Also, this was the year that Five Nights at Freddy's became a thing. And later that year was when I became obsessed with it, like at the very tail end. And from there, I developed my love for Chuck E. Cheese. And the Ice Bucket Challenge was a thing. 2015 was when I started this YouTube channel right here. And I also discovered the Chuck E. Cheese community on YouTube. I was really obsessed with everything FNAF and Chuck E. Cheese, and I got into Dragon Ball Z. I also created the original fursuit of Taylor the Wolf. I started to improve my art as well. Sorta. I also joined Instagram later that year with the intention of keeping up with my camp friends. But I discovered that there were even more Chuck E. Cheese fans on there.
Chuck E. Cheese, the partiest place to be.
Oh my god, oh, remember that stupid dress that everyone was debating over? Oh hey, and same-sex marriage became fully legal in the US! Yay! 2016, oh boy. Another awkward year indeed. My only obsessions at the time were pretty much Chuck E. Cheese and Dragon Ball Z. And if you know me long enough, you'd remember that Trunks was my crush. Oh god.
Hey, Frieza! Huh?
I met this person named Morgan. They were very mysterious at the time, and they disappeared for a while, a few months later. I believe this was also the year that I was diagnosed with high-functioning autism.
AUTISM, what does it mean? Silence and friends unseen. A few brains as well, that is autism, and that makes us seem special to you.
I applied for a job at Chuck E. Cheese, and I didn't get hired because I was super immature at the time.
What's with the eyebrows? Those are bushy. That's cool. Have you been growing those like that for a while?
Yeah. Come here.
We do the happy dance, bro.
Chucky, I think you gotta like iron your patch back on a bit. You gotta iron that back on.
I ended up in my first relationship with someone who I will not mention because I hate his guts now because he was absolutely horrible to me and I will never forgive him for what he's done. And if you're watching this, you know who you are. Anyway, this was the last year I went to that camp that I told you about earlier. It was fun while it lasted.
Zippy! Woo! Hey! Woo! Woo! Nobody's down there. Okay, I'm coming back. Get ready to catch the roll. And, oh, okay. All right, catch it. All right. Okay.
I became sorta well known in the CEC community, and I started posting my art on Instagram. I also had this phase where I was obsessed with 60s music. And then, my friend Morgan came back later that year. Also, Pokemon Go, Harambe. Yeah. 2017, I was still very much a weeaboo. Still obsessed with DBZ, but my friend Morgan introduced me to an even cooler cartoon, The Real Ghostbusters! It took me a bit to fully become a fan, but we'll get to that later. Oh yeah, and I was a part of this monstrosity.
Only thing to my name is a new t-shirt. Made in 1985 from a Stones concert. And I'm dying to make it America.
Long story short, I became the butt of jokes in the CEC fandom. I also started talking to Patrick, aka Transtar Lexington. He's a cool dude, you should follow him. I took a trip to Seattle to see my brother, and that was a really fun experience. I started interacting with more DBZ fans on Discord. Some were okay, but a lot of them, I think they found me weird. I also started going to a special school later that year, and I started to transition from DBZ to Ghostbusters. That's when I left Trunks in favor of Egon. This is also when I decided to try again at building fursuits, but doing a better job, and I am glad I did. And fidget spinners! And the solar eclipse! In 2018, I became a legal adult. Yes, I turned 18. I started to realize that the 80s were an amazing decade, and I discovered great cartoons and great music. I continued to build a few practice fursuits, including this one right here, and I started the Real Fluff Builders. I graduated high school, and I was in the Connecticut Ghostbusters for a few months, and I went to my first convention with them. I also got into the Beatles. That's how I met Carlin. I discovered the coolest cat in the world, the King. Now, at the time, it was a very small channel. Jared and I became good friends, and I became the official Kingtoonist. I began this transition program at another school. Later, I attended my first furry convention, Furpocalypse. Also, a Banksy painting self-destructed, and Baby Shark. Oh god. 2019! Oh boy, here we go. So this year was quite a roller coaster for me. It had its ups and downs. So I finally got a job, first of all. That was really awesome.
Hello, I like money.
My fursuit work began to improve significantly, and I got my first head commission. That was really exciting. I got into Fireman Sam, thanks to Carlin here, and I decided that it would be best to leave the Chuck E. Cheese fandom behind just because, you know, it was pretty toxic for me to handle, but I'm still into Chuck E. Cheese though, of course. Oh boy, July was a month of absolute hell for me because I was stuck in an internship tutoring children. It was not easy for me. The only good things that happened in that month was that I got my Chucky head and my Egon Bugsy. Luckily, things picked up in August when I went to Terrificon. That was the most memorable thing that happened this year. I met Maurice LaMarche, Rob Paulson, and Jess Harnell, and let me tell you, they are absolute sweethearts. I had a complete fangirl moment, and that's how I got into Animaniacs. Animaniacs really inspired me to change my art style to a more cartoony look, and it looks so much better in my opinion. I also took my first college class, I attended Furpocalypse again this year, and it was a lot of fun. And this month, my fursuit business began to pick up. Now that the decade is coming to an end, I'd like to reflect on some things I learned. I learned that you need to be careful who you trust, and that you won't always know somebody is true friend the moment you start talking to them. True friends are those who will always be there for you in your hardest times, and they will give you some of the best advice. There are people who are worth keeping around, and there are people who aren't. Get rid of the toxic people as soon as possible, but always keep around your true friends. My closest friends are the ones I can always count on. You know who you are, and you mean the world to me. As we transition into the new year, I hope to spend less money, get more exercise, sell more fursuits, meet my best friends, attend more conventions, and just try to get my life back together so I can become more independent. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I wish each and every one of you a totally radical new year!